and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this Ranunculus Romance card and we're going to add the Pretty Flowers embossing folder to the background. I've used the deckled rectangle dies for the center and for the Melon Mambo mat, and I've used one of these stylish shapes, banner dies for the greeting. The greeting is also from the Ranunculus Romance set. I used polished pink ribbon here, and I have used the Melon Mambo blends to color it for the card I'm going to do in the video. I've also used some opal rounds and colored them with the dark Melon Mambo Stampin' Blends marker as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I need to do is I need to take my 5 1/4 by 4 basic white piece and emboss it. So I'm going to put it in. This is not a 3D folder, so I just need to take out the platform 2 from my cut and emboss, and then I'm going to use both my plates and just put it right on platform 1, taking out that shim number 2. Just going to run that through, and then we can basically build the card. I used the sponge dauber technique to put 2 colors on the stamp. I've done that before, and I think probably with this one. I'm just going to take this out of the folder. And so what I do is I take the stamp and I stamped the whole thing in Pear Pizzazz, and then I took the finger dauber into the Melon Mambo and then just re-inked the roses themselves in here, or camellias, whatever. I'm not sure what they are, but anyway, they're pretty. So we've got the Pear Pizzazz leaves, and then I've used the dauber to color the flowers, and you just keep dabbing over until you've got the coverage you need. So that's how I did that. So we're going to basically start building the card. I am going to flat mount the piece that I have the flower on, and then I'm going to center it on the matted piece like that. And this whole thing is going to be dimensionalized onto the Melon Mambo card base. So before I do that, I'm actually going to build the card. I'm going to pop some adhesive on the bottom of the embossed piece and put my piece of ribbon down. I'm doing this so that my ribbon stays in place, and I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back to hold it down. Just tuck those over. When you color your ribbon, you need to put it on a piece of paper because it will soak through, the blends will soak through onto your work surface. So just have a piece of scrap paper underneath, and you need to give it just a little bit of time to dry. I am going to use dimensionals to put the flower and the mat onto the front of the card. Don't worry about this. I had used this piece as a sticker sheet, and I didn't want to cut up another piece of Melon Mambo to make the mat. So I could have peeled this off and flat mounted it, but I wanted to dimensionalize this. So I've used some of the edges from my dimensional sheet, and we'll just pop this down. There we go. So we're going to put this down right in the middle. This flower with this die reminds me a lot of years and years ago. You used to get these little tiny cards in packages of cigarettes, and I remember my grandparents giving them to me as collection pieces. So this is what this reminds me of. So I'm going to flat mount the hello onto the ribbon. So one of the reasons I put some adhesive underneath as well is just to hold that in place. Now I'm going to add my opal rounds that I've colored, and I'm going to put one on each side, just nicely centered. Oops, and sometimes they just slip right out of the tweezers, but I want to pick this up flat with the tweezers so that I can line it up. Just making sure I'm still in frame. I'm just lining it up in the middle. There we go. So that's the front of the card, basically. Now I need to grab some more dimensionals, and I'm going to just tuck a dimensional over the back of the ribbon. The ribbon should be fine with just the adhesive from the Stampin' Seal, but just to be on the safe side, I've locked it in with the dimensionals. So don't mind me, I obviously can't think and work at the same time because I keep hesitating. So let's get the rest of our larger dimensionals out. That's probably enough dimensional pieces on the back of there. So I'm going to bring my Melon Mambo card base back in, and we will just continue just basically to put this card front on, and then we're all done. And we've got a really pretty card using the Pretty Flowers embossing folder and the Ranunculus Romance die or stamp set. There are dies you can get with the Ranunculus Romance. I just don't have them, so I just make those little card fronts. There we go. So that is our card. This one I colored the polished pink ribbon with the dark Melon Mambo, and in this one I left it the polished pink. And I don't know which one I like better. I like the brightness of this, but I like how this coordinates with everything else. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.